everybody, welcome back to Let's Talk. I am your host, John, and today we're going to be counting down the top 10 movies that you need to watch in the summer on 4K Blu-ray. And this is a very much opinionated list. The summer season rolls around, it's hot outside, it gets gross outside, but you know what? You can go inside, turn the AC on, pour yourself a drink, and you can really appreciate that hot air from the comfort of your home theater by turning on a film that you absolutely love. And I'm going to count down the top 10 movies I think you should be watching in the summer on 4K Blu-ray. Now, these aren't necessarily all action films, all summer blockbusters. There's just certain movies that I think fit the summer season. I've always been somebody who likes to watch movies at a certain time of the year. When winter rolls around, of course, that's what I'm going to throw on The Shining and The Thing. When fall rolls around, that's when you want to watch those movies like Halloween, A Nightmare on Elm Street, you know, all those Evil Dead, all those movies that take place like when the leaves are falling, that crisp air. But in the summer, the air isn't really the best, but hey, we got so many great movies out there for us to watch, and I'm going to count them down from worst to first. Now, just remember, this is my opinion. I like to make a cosmic gumbo of this, so it comes down to the quality of the film, the quality of the 4K Blu-ray. So there's going to be certain movies on this list that have 4K Blu-ray releases that aren't necessarily the greatest. For example, Jurassic Park. At the time of this recording, the new Jurassic Park 4K Blu-ray trilogies haven't come out yet, so I still have that old Jurassic Park 4K Blu-ray, which isn't the greatest, so that unfortunately didn't make the list, even though Jurassic Park is one of my all-time favorite films. But anyway, I'll stop wasting your time. Let's start right now from number 10.
I'd hate to see Out of Control.
That's all I remember about the trailer for Inception, but nobody could wait for this movie when it was first announced, when the first trailer dropped for this. You know, this is Christopher Nolan's follow-up to The Dark Knight, which was a huge deal. It was a huge deal for me. I saw The Dark Knight in theaters during its initial run 9 times. I got my 10 in 2018. But Inception was one that I was anticipating. I saw it in theaters with the biggest sound system you can imagine, and I absolutely loved it. And Inception really does float with my favorite Christopher Nolan movie. It's between this and Interstellar and Oppenheimer. All three of those movies I think are masterpieces from Christopher Nolan. I could see the flaws in Inception, but I gotta be honest, every single summer I get that itch to turn this movie on and just watch the team. You know, this is really where people started to notice that Christopher Nolan could probably direct a great James Bond movie, because yeah, this is kind of taking, you know, Tenet's probably more of a James Bond film than this, but everybody in nice suits, smart people, you got to assemble the team. You know, this is really one of those kinds of movies where it's a mind bender. You're still talking about that ending to this very day. It has some of the greatest action sequences using practical effects, and all that translates very well to the 4K Blu-ray format. I do think this 4K Blu-ray could use an upgrade right now in 2025, but Christopher Nolan knew how to shoot his movies. He knew how to use that IMAX camera. Even in the early days, he was one of the first adapters of the IMAX camera, and all that can be seen in this 4K Blu-ray right here, and I can highly recommend it. Ooh. At number 9, I got The Incredibles, directed by Brad Bird, and this isn't my favorite Pixar movie, but I think this is the one that really illustrates the summer. When you think of summer, you do think of summer blockbusters, and this is like the version from Pixar. It's basically the greatest Fantastic Four film that you've ever seen. It's a great family film. You get great voice actors in there. The animation might not be as good as The Incredibles 2. That's one thing about Pixar. Their animation gets better and better and better with each film, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the quality of the film is as good, because The Incredibles is just one of the best films that they've ever put out. Brad Bird has a certain tone to him. You've seen The Iron Giant, you've seen this, and of course you've seen Mission Impossible, Ghost Protocol. They all have a similar light-hearted tone to them. They're funny. They also know how to deal with serious drama, and that all carries over here to The Incredibles, which is a great 4K Blu-ray put out by Disney. You know, I'm not the biggest fan of Disney right now, but I have to acknowledge that this is one of those movies, if you're going to watch The Incredibles, make sure you watch it in the summer.
Call it.
And at number 8, I got No Country for Old Men. If you're going to be watching No Country for Old Men, I think the perfect season for it is the summer. This is a neo-Western, and even the Western genre in general, unless you're watching a movie like The Great Silence, for the most part, those are summer movies that take place in the South, and, you know, it's always hot out. Of course, sometimes they're in the mountains and you're going to get some snow, but for the most part, it's hot out, it's gross out like we're talking about here. And what do you do when you got Anton Chigurh on your tail? Well, you better fucking run, because he's going to end up killing you, because that's all he does. He's just a killer. He's a flat-out killer. He's an emotionless bastard, and he's on the hunt for Josh Brolin in this movie and that damn briefcase full of money. This is one of the best films that the Coen brothers have ever put out. Between this and Fargo are my top two. This 4K Blu-ray from the Criterion Collection is one of the best that I think they've ever put out. It's not a perfect 10 out of 10, but for the most part, everything on this disc is good, like 9.5 out of 10. Great extras, great visuals, great audio. And if you're going to watch No Country for Old Men, might as well pop that in July or August.
Cal, I gotta go, Julia. We got cows.
And at number 7, I do have a tie, but I feel like these movies go hand in hand. Obviously, one's the sequel to the other. But Twister and Twisters, which are both fantastic films. I like Twisters almost as much as I like Twister. In fact, Twisters right now might have passed Twister. And I know a lot of people can't take hearing that, but I just really feel like Twisters catches that 1990s summer blockbuster feeling that Twister captured back in 1996. It's a very similar tone. You're not supposed to take it that seriously. The performances are over the top. It's cheesy as hell, and that's exactly why I love it. And we're in Oklahoma, Tornado Valley. Of course, when you see all that rain and stuff, what do you think of? You think of summer, and you're going to want to watch Twister and Twisters in the summer. The original one is a classic in a lot of people's hearts for a reason. Bill Paxton, Philip Seymour Hoffman. It is a great movie. I love going back and rewatching Twister, and both of these 4K Blu-rays are great Dolby Atmos tracks. I've seen people argue about which audio track is better. Is it better on Twister? Is it better on Twisters? I say, hey, you know what? Pick up both, watch them back to back, and I guarantee you'll have a great day in the hot summer.
You yell shark, we've got a panic on our hands on the 4th of July.
And at number 6, this might be too low for some people, and probably would put this at number 1, but because it is the greatest summer blockbuster of all time, and without this, we wouldn't even have blockbusters. This is the original blockbuster. But you guys know I'm not the world's biggest Jaws fan, but I actually happen to watch Jaws every single summer. And if you're gonna watch Jaws, it has to be in the summer, right? I mean, Amity Island, 4th of July weekend, all that just screams summer. The sharks in the water, and of course this Universal 4K Blu-ray I have right here, the last release, the 45th anniversary edition. There's also a 50th anniversary edition steelbook that is coming out, and also a 50th anniversary standard edition with a new 50th anniversary documentary on there. But for the most part, everything that's on this disc right here, including the 2 documentaries that came packed in, and then, of course, the new 4K Blu-ray of Jaws, which I don't think is a 10 out of 10 scan, but is still a huge upgrade over how Jaws has always looked. And if you're a Jaws fan, obviously it goes without saying, you're going to want this on 4K Blu-ray, and I'm pretty sure you won't be disappointed with it.
There are no points for second place.
You figured it out yet?
At number 5, I got Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick. Can't go wrong with both. I know another tie, but when an American holiday like Memorial Day or 4th of July rolls around and you're feeling patriotic, of course you're going to want to pop in Top Gun or Top Gun Maverick. After rewatching them both, I think now I'm leaning back more towards 1986's Top Gun starring Tom Cruise. Now the better 4K Blu-ray is definitely Top Gun Maverick, which is a reference quality disc in my opinion, but still, you can't go wrong with either Top Gun or Top Gun Maverick. I can highly recommend them both. 1986's Top Gun is really what put Tom Cruise on the map as an action star, the guy we know today, the guy who's willing to risk it all for his life, the Mission Impossible Tom Cruise we all know today. All that started back in 1986 when he got himself in a fighter plane and decided he was going to make Top Gun. He loved it, and I really think that's what started to scratch that itch for him of being this big-time action star, and I can absolutely recommend both Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick.
The incredible comes true. Field of Dreams.
And at number 4, when summer rolls around, how do you not have Field of Dreams on the list? Now, this is a Universal 4K Blu-ray that I can definitely recommend. It still holds up very well to this very day, which is a surprise because it was an earlier 4K Blu-ray release. But, summertime rolls around, it's baseball season. I'm a big Met fan. The Mets love to break my heart, even though they're doing pretty good right now. But still, when, baseball has always lent itself very well to film, and I really do think that Field of Dreams is one of the best of them. It's got a great 4K Blu-ray. I could have gone with Major League, like my heart wanted to go with Major League because that is a great 4K Blu-ray as well, but I went with the more heartwarming story and one that screams a little bit more summer summer. Major League is kind of going through the entire baseball season, even though baseball is a summer sport overall. We still end in the fall. Field of Dreams just feels like a summer movie, in my opinion. If you build it, he will come. Just a fantastic, one of the most famous lines in film history. It's a great father-son story, and that scene with Burt Lancaster will make me cry each and every single time, even though most people just cry at the end. For me, it's when Burt Lancaster saves Kevin Costner's daughter. Either way, check out Field of Dreams. And at number 3, I got Beverly Hills Cop, directed by Martin Brest. This, in my opinion, is still Eddie Murphy's best film, and if you're going to watch this movie, you have to watch it in the summer. I didn't like what Paramount did with these 4K Blu-ray releases, releasing one Beverly Hills Cop movie each year. So the first year we got Beverly Hills Cop 1, the next 2, and then the following year we got the 3-pack and Beverly Hills Cop 3. Don't like that, but Paramount is known for not being one of the greatest companies when it comes to the consumers, and of course, they don't always have the greatest 4K Blu-ray transfers as well, but luckily, Beverly Hills Cop is a great 4K Blu-ray transfer, just like Midnight Run. Even though Midnight Run came out from Shout Select and is a better 4K Blu-ray overall, still, Beverly Hills Cop, for me, this is one I have to watch, just because when we get that montage of Eddie Murphy going from Detroit into Beverly Hills, that just screams summer to me. It might not even be the summer, but it screams summer to me. That's why I have to have Beverly Hills Cop on this list.
At your head, what do you do? What do you do?
And then at number 2, this might be a personal one, but still, I think that Speed, directed by John DeVont, the second John DeVont film to appear on this list. The guy knew how to make a summer blockbuster, and Speed is absolutely one of the greatest summer blockbusters of all time, in my opinion. This one, it's been called Die Hard on a Bus, and it really is, but John DeVont worked on Die Hard, so it's fair. And this is the one that made Keanu Reeves an action star. Yes, he did Point Break before this, but he got bulked up, shaved his head. He's messing around with Sandra Bullock in this. You get Jeff Daniels in this movie and playing another character named Harry, just like in Dumb and Dumber. But you can watch Dumb and Dumber in the winter, but Speed, you have to watch that bus jump the gap in the summer. And this 4K Steelbook, I had to have the 4K Steelbook, is very, very good. It's by 20th Century Fox before they got bought out by Disney, so they're holding this hostage now. But still, if you got this when it came out, it's a great 4K Blu-ray disc.
Doctor,
Come on, what?
always do the right thing.
And then that, of course, brings us to number 1, Do the Right Thing, a Spike Lee joint. Probably his greatest film of all time. It's definitely his most famous film of all time. Me personally, I probably still lean towards Malcolm X, but Malcolm X is my favorite biographical film. If you're going to watch the Do the Right Thing, you have to watch this movie in the summertime. And this has a Criterion Blu-ray release as well, but I recommend going with the Universal 4K Blu-ray, which we talked a lot about Universal on this list. They put out a lot of great 4K Blu-ray discs, and this one is very, very good. The color timing is great on this one. I saw people, I remember when it came out, arguing about this or the Criterion. I personally do still prefer this 4K Blu-ray disc. The Criterion might have some different extras on there, but this one, I think it's just going to look absolutely stunning in 4K Blu-ray, mainly because of the way this movie was shot by Ernest Dickerson, painting the buildings red to make it look like it's hotter out than it is. The tension that's built up throughout this movie in the community. Those hot days. I'm sweating right now because it's like 80 degrees out and I don't have my air conditioner on, so I know those hot days. You start to get pissed off, and all these tensions that have already been boiling under the surface are now going to rise up and to a huge moment at the very end of the movie. And the movie doesn't give you the answers. It doesn't spoon feed you the answers. It's basically asking you, who's right? Who's wrong in this situation? Was Mookie right? Was he wrong? Who knows? You have to ask yourself that. And the movie is smart enough to know that. That's why everyone always asks Spike Lee if he did the right thing or not. And he leaves it up to you. It's up to you to decide. It's up to the individual. He's the one asking the question, and it doesn't hurt the movie at all. There's nothing wrong with a great ambiguous ending and leaving you thinking. And even in the summertime, when it's hot outside, I still think you should pop in, do the right thing, get you thinking. I think overall, if you're going to watch any 4K Blu-ray in the summer, let it be Do the Right Thing. But anyway, guys, I want to hear from you. What did you guys think of my list? What is your top 10 movies on 4K Blu-ray that you have to watch each and every single summer? Leave those answers in the comments section below. And then while you guys are down there, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to share this video if you could. We also have channel membership, so if you want to become a friend of the channel, a producer for the channel like John Doe Juggalo, a channel director like Nicholas Head, Kevin Kruger, Uncle V, and Frank from Frank's Media Reviews, you can do that. We also have a bankroll membership. If you want to become a channel bankroll member like Mr. Smelly Potato, you can do that as well. But of course, there's no pressure at all. If you got no money to throw away, don't worry about it. We just hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, get out in those streets, tell your friends about us. Then we'll be seeing you around.